Hi folks, very good afternoon to all of you. Friends, in this video I am very eager to tell you regarding the file creation, and then we will learn about how to load the data from local file system and also from HDFS, that is user cloudera directory, to Hive tables basically. See, these concepts are very special and momentous from the analytical point of view. You know, in real time you will get a very huge and bulky size of data, and we have to perform various function and queries so that we can get some fruitful insights and do some analytics on the data and records for the business growth and development. So this is necessary basically. So this is the one thing or separate issue, but before this we have to come across to know about the file creation and learn to know how can we edit these files, their locations, and how can we simply load the file data in the our table. So after that we just process the data. We use some processing engine like Hive, in another mode like Spark, MapReduce, like that. So I am here with you as a helping hand and going to start with simple file creation in our local file system, that is home cloudera. So by using our first command is touch for the creation of file. So you can see here by first of all we just to know about how many files and folders are there. Like this you can see there is files that you can see g file.csv. So we will make our file basically. Okay, so we can use touch command for our file creation in the home cloudera. So you can see here very clearly we already opened the 4 shells basically: home cloudera, user cloudera, SQL shell, Hive shell, for our convenience. Okay, so we just go into the home cloudera on our local file system. We have confirmed that there is no T file. So first of all we will create our T file by using touch command, touch, touch T file. Suppose we just created T file. Okay, yeah, now you can validate it by using ll command. Okay, now you can see here T file is created, but it is empty now. Okay, it is empty. So how can we validate it? By read the T file. There is some content inside this file or not. So we use cat command for reading the file. T file read, cat T file. Okay, so there is no content, but I want to add some content inside these files in the text format, or comma separated value, a CSV file format. So we can add some data inside these files. How can we edit this file? Basically we use vi command. Okay, for putting the content. There is another way that is much more better than this, but I will show you. First of all, if simple file is with you, then you want to add some content in this file. So basically we use vi command for our T file, vi T file. Okay, now you see is another window is open here. So how to, now you press any button from your keyboard, this will not work. In that case there is some commands. Basically you have to press I from your keyboard, that is for insert. You can see below a insert word is here. You can see here very insert. So we just press I on from your keyboard. Now you can add the data. can edit the command, you can put some records here. So we add some data here, like suppose 1 mega, oh sorry, null I now 1 comma mega comma 10,000, 2 comma giga comma 20,000, 3 comma tera comma 30,000. Okay, we put some records inside this file. Now simple press escape button, and below you can see we just put some command here, colon wq and asterisk. You will come out from this window. Okay, now you again read the file. The data is here. Okay, so through this process we can add some data or remove some data, or can say we can edit the data. You want to suppose edit the data again, so you just press vi tfile. Inside this file press simple I button on your keyboard, and then you can edit this data. Suppose I will give it 2000. Now simple pressing escape button and colon wq exclamatory sign and press enter. Now you can see our file is edited by using cat command. Now you can see here. Okay, so this is the simple file creation, but I will tell you another way to create the file, and with this you can put the content inside this files together. So we can use echo command. Okay, before this we can create a file like t1 file. Okay, so we use echo command. Echo, we will put same data, suppose 1 mega 10,000. It is routed through, we just give the file name. You can see here there is no t1 file here in the while we just validating the file and folders, there was no any t1 file sitting there. So by using the echo command, the file will create automatically. You no need to create any file here. So this is the specialty of the echo command. We can create the file as well as we can put the content inside this file together. So we use t1 file. Okay, this will be the one row. Yeah, one row is created. Now we want to add another records, so we use the same command, but this time you have to add this double greater than sign. Basically the sense is it is routed through, these records are routed through this t file. So we just edit this to giga and 2000, suppose. T1 file. Okay, and next record same 3 tera and 30,000. Now we just read the file using cat t1 file. Okay, so we use cat command uh, cat t1 t1 file t1. Now you can see uh, in the echo command we need not to create any file. So, and by using echo command we can put the content and the files automatically gets together. So this is very useful command for file creation. Okay, if you want to editing this file basically, so you can use vi command. Again, vi t1 file. For editing we use vi command like this, and you just press I button on your keyboard, and now you can eligible to editing the content. Suppose I edited this giga, and then press escape button, and below colon wq exclamatory come out to this window. Now you can see cat t1 file. Our file is edited now. Okay, before this it was giga, G-I-G-G-A-A. Now this G-I-G-A. So we have edited this file by using the vi command. Okay, this is the first thing. Now for clearing the window I use clear command. Clear. Okay, we just go from very starting stage. So I will tell you one important thing, that is after file creation, some data is sitting in our local file system. Okay, and you can see, suppose we take an example of cat t file. You see there are three records and three columns, 1 2 3, and columns are vertical in nature. So 1 2 3 suppose id, mega, giga, tera is name, and 10,000, 2,000 and 30,000 is suppose this amount. So we can consider it like id, name and amount. Okay, but this HDFS is a file system. We want to process this data basically. So we have how can we process this data? So we just import this data to the Hive shell, or by creating some table and load this data to the in our Hive table. So in this video we just learn how to create table and how to load the data inside this table, so that we can do some processing. Hope you understand about the file creation. And again, put the content in file by using vi command or using echo command directly, and then we create table and load the data from our local file system. Our local file system means home cloudera, and HDFS is user cloudera. That is the Hadoop distribution file system. Okay, so we see our file is sitting in the home cloudera. This t file you can give it by properly relative path, absolute path, that is in our home cloudera, cat home cloudera t file. I always suggest you always use the absolute path for putting the file, creation of file, removing the directory, removing the file, creation of file. So basically I will suggest always use this absolute path, home cloudera t file. It will give you the same result. Okay, it is confirmed our file is sitting in the home cloudera. So after validating the data, we have to do some further processing. All good. In another video I will create more useful and informative video on big data basically. So just enter into our Hive shell. Okay, in Hive shell, this is our home cloudera. Okay, okay. Hive shell, we just simply type Hive. In our Hive shell, we just simply type Hive. Our Hive shell is open now. Yeah, Hive. You can see here our Hive shell is open. Okay. First of all, we see how many databases are there. You show databases. You can see there is a default database here. It is the default one from the Hive side. So first of all, we need to create a database. Suppose our table is tfile, so we just created database tdb, t database. So we use create database tdb. Okay, database is created. Now see, there is any table or not? Obviously there is no table, because recently we have created this database, but for our convenience we use show tables. There is in S tab, basically in tdb, actually drop table S tab, show tables. Okay, there is no table now, so we will create a table in Hive. Create table. Our file is t tab, and give the column names. Column names were id, comma, name and amount. Suppose, give the data type id int, name string. These are important to give the data types of every column. String, and the basic template for using the Hive table. Actually this data basically is sitting as a text, or we can see a comma separated value. The column are separated with the delimiter known as comma. So while we creating a table in the Hive shell, where is Hive shell? Yeah. Our Hive shell, we need to create our table by using some basic templates, that is row format. Give row format delimited fields terminated by comma. Okay, and this is optional. We can give it stored as text file. It is optional. Okay, so through this method we can create a table. Create table t tab, id int, name string, amount string, row format, delimited fields terminated by comma, stored as text file. Stored as text file. Our table is created, so we can validate this table. Select star from L tab. There is no data in the inside this table. Okay, t tab. There is no data inside this. Now the table is created and our data is sitting in our local file system. Now we want to load this data in this table, so that we can do some processing for our analytical purpose. So the command is load data local in path into table T tab. So just consider the path. Load data. We have to load the data from the local file system, that is the template load data local path, in which table? Into T tab, that is sitting in our Hive table. So our local in path path is home. Where is our file sitting? In our home cloudera. So we give the path here, absolute path home cloudera which file? T file. Basically we just shoot this command. Our loading is successful. Now you can see, select L tab, at T tab, okay, T tab. Our data is imported. So we have learned in this video how to load the data from our local file system to Hive table. Okay, and in my previous video you have learned this is automatically a by default it is managed table. Describe formatted T tab. You can see here all the details of this is the managed table by default, you can see, and the on which directory the table is created. The directory is created at the user Hive warehouse T tab directory, because when we create the table and we are not providing any location in the Hive table creation, then you can see here while creating the table we have not provided any location here. Raw formatted by comma. After that we have not provided any location like this, location like this. So it will create its own directory inside the user Hive warehouse in the name of table. T tab is table, but here you can see it is the directory in the name of table. Okay, we have creating the table in the name of T tab, but table is T tab, table name is T tab, but we did not give any location. That's why it creates its own directory in the name of table. Table name is T tab, but directory will create in the user Hive warehouse named as T tab inside user Hive warehouse. In my previous video I have told you about this location, without location. So but by default it is the managed table. Okay, this is the one thing. Suppose in our home cloudera like this time the file is sitting in our local file system in home cloudera. Suppose if file is same file is sitting in the HDFS, we can say in Hadoop HDFS location user cloudera basically. So first of all we just validate how many file and folders in our user cloudera. Use user cloudera. ls is shortlisting the detail of a file and folder sitting in our. So there is one directory is scoop. Leave it, this is not as necessary, but first of all we have to import this T file in our user cloudera from home cloudera to user cloudera. So simple command we use hadoop fs hyphen, you can use put command from our home cloudera to home cloudera space to give user cloudera. Now the file, home cloudera T file, our wait. We use Control C. Okay, Hadoop fs hyphen port home cloudera, which file? tfile in our user cloudera. Okay, now we validate it. Now file is transported. You can see here our in user cloudera tfile is imported by using the put command. Okay, now this time our file is sitting in our user cloudera. So suppose we want to create a table. Suppose t tab 1. Same, we just create a table. Create table t tab 1, id int, name string, amount string, row format delimited field, terminated by comma, stored as text file. Okay, now our table is created. Now by using select star from t tab 1, this time there is no data inside this table, but our file is in our user cloudera. So simple. First of all, we have load the data from our local file system. So same command we use, load data local in path home cloudera into table t tab 1, but there is a change. Where is our file sitting? In user cloudera, and this is in our local. We have to delete this. Load data in path user cloudera tfile into table t tab 1. Understood? Now our data is loaded here. Now you can validate this data in the inside the table from t tab 1. Same data will you get through this file location basically. So basic difference is between the home cloudera and user cloudera, that is the path. For our local path, if we transport the data from our local file system to Hive table, then we use load data local in path, and the file is sitting in home cloudera, and we have created table t tab. Okay, this is the basic template we use while loading the data from our local file system to Hive table. And if suppose our file sitting in our user cloudera, then simply we use this load data. Just deleted the local here. Load data in path, and instead of using home cloudera, the file is sitting now in user cloudera. So, and we have created a fresh table t tab 1. So through this we can t tab, first of all we can validate the data. Select star from t tab and t tab 1. This data comes this one, you can see here. This data will come from our local file system, and this data, select star from t tab, this t tab 1, sorry, this data this data come from our user cloudera location. So it is very quite easy to load the data from our local file system and the user cloudera system. So hope friends you understand about the file creation. Put the content in file by using vi command or using echo command directly. So we just create a table and load the data from our local file system, mean home cloudera, where file is sitting, and then we load the data in our Hive table as well. So then validating the data from further processing. Okay, so all is good, but in another video I will create the more useful and informative video on big data. So keep practicing and stay healthy. I will connect again for you with some handy and informative videos. Till then, take care and goodbye.